Hello.
Hello. Back again for another episode of Chatty Caveman. Bri is here, and I have something I'd like to talk about today.
You never tell me, and I like it.
Yeah, I kind of just
you
throw it out there and see
you
what
have
happens.
something. All right.
So Saturday I went downtown Wilmington early. I was just walking around, and I see the street market. Everything goes on down there, and all the little shops. And
They had a street market, okay.
They got that every weekend.
Oh, or did they?
They had a Veterans Day parade this weekend. Thank you to all you vets out there. Thank you for your service to everybody.
I actually heard from so many Chick-fil-A's, like, did you see the parade? It was great.
Yeah, it was a good parade. There's a lot of participation. So I didn't even know what was going on. I just went downtown, and then I just walked into a parade, and it was amazing. So, walking the streets, you can see all these little craft fairs and all these little handmade arts and decor. If I see something I like, I usually buy it within reason. I don't buy anything crazy. But that's when I realized that there's a lot of stuff that I have that I've collected over many of the years. Do you collect anything?
No, it's been years. I used to collect old cameras from garage sales years ago.
Cameras from garage sales. You still have any?
Years ago, yeah.
Okay, so you keep them like stored away.
They're trash stored away.
They're trash.
Well, I don't take care of them.
Like
they're in like a bin, and they're up in the attic in the heat.
All
so
right.
like Lord knows what kind of condition they're in.
For whatever reason, you collect stuff. So you go out to garage sales. Maybe you buy some stuff.
I used to, yeah.
I know a lot of people that collect a lot of different things. I mean, it could be sports cards. You used to do baseball cards a long time ago.
Well, yeah,
I never did baseball cards.
Yeah, I'm even in Pokemon right now.
But everybody's like, I don't know. It could be Beanie Babies, Pop Heads, a number of different things that, watches, toys. People collect crystals, swords, knives. It doesn't really matter what it is. A lot of people collect stuff. I collect things only from places probably that I've been, like mugs or steins from like different bars or places that I remember.
Souvenirs,
to put on display, like not in the kitchen cabinet, like just if it's something nice or something like that. I collect golf balls from places that I played if they're really nice.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff, okay? And do I put it out on display, or do I from places that I've been? Some people collect ornaments or whatever. I don't have that many things that I collect. I know I do collect shoes. I collect sneakers. I have a sneaker collection that's...
He's got over 100 pairs of shoes, right?
Well...
Right?
Yeah.
You say it with hesitation.
100.
You and you would have more. And by the way, the ones that are on the front porch, they need to be in the trash, right? Are you keeping them out there just in case things get wet again?
Well, those are the ones I gave you during the hurricane.
No, well, that was what you wore when you went
me?
to go push somebody.
I thought I gave you.
Nope.
I gave you. Okay,
Nope,
I thought I gave you for somebody. Okay.
Nope, those are yours.
Well, they can get tossed then because they're the same thing. They were in 3 feet of water. It's
right.
Okay. So I don't buy the ones that like everybody goes and says, oh, these are the next ones out. If I like them, I buy them. My biggest problem is I wear them. Right. I wear them. Unlike other people, I wear them. I don't have them wrapped up. I don't have them in the plastic. I do go look at them. I see them. I have a few pairs that probably would be shrink wrapped and sitting on the shelf in plastic, but I do wear them. I get them. I try and get a deal on them whenever I find them, and then I get them. But what's the coolest thing you think you have that you would consider a collector, or somebody say, oh, like if somebody came over, what is the coolest thing? I had a customer who just gave me a sword this week.
I searched them, by the way.
Threw me off because it was like a Damascus sword, like a 3.5-foot sword. He just gave to me. He says, everybody should have a sword. And I was very thrown by that because I never
sharp as
had
hell.
A sword. It's the sharpest thing.
And you could literally take somebody's limb off with it, probably.
Yes.
It's that sharp.
So it kind of freaked me out, but it's really nice. And I went, you know what? I know people. I've been on vacation with my son. I brought him and a couple of his friends, and we went on vacation, and they all wanted to stop at like this knife and sword store. And one of his friends bought a Gimli axe from Lord of the Rings, literally a 2-sided axe, and it was a lot of money. But he collects these things. And I went, you know what? I don't know if I'd go with the armory in my house. That's a little bit rough for me, but I know I have a lot of different things in my house. So now I have a sword.
But it is nice to have something like that. It's actually more useful as a weapon on display in the living room than the gun you might have locked away. If somebody comes into your house... Yes. And you feel like all of a sudden you need something, that is one. What's nice about it is you got some reach, man. I mean,
exactly.
you are like, with your extension and that sword, you've got 6 feet before you're cutting somebody's chest. And I'm talking about approximately, maybe 5 feet. But anyway.
Well, the gentleman who gave it to me said exactly that. He said, do you have a gun? I said, no comment. He says, well, if you have a gun or don't have a gun, somewhere in your house, you should have a sword. Every man should have a sword. And I went, oh, yeah, okay. And at the end of the day, he gave it to me as a gift. And it was very interesting to hand another person just a sharpened double-edged sword.
and don't don't get rid of it because
I'm not.
I would.
I've decided to keep it.
Yeah, I'm thinking I kind of need a sword now too. I do have guns, but The guns are there for like, all right, I got some time to prepare.
Right.
Not like somebody's just kicked the door in.
Yes.
Then I need to
Yes.
grab a fucking frying pan or a bat.
Right,
A bat would be better.
Right.
But a sword, man, that's badass. Somebody's looking at you and you have a fucking sword. They are like, this guy's a little crazy.
Well, I had to take it home, so I had to
Well, yeah.
transfer it from
Well,
one vehicle to another, and
come
then I had
on.
to come to the house. And I came to the house; it was daylight, and you just walking in with a big sword and a sheath, and you're like okay,
It's
yeah.
a prop. It's a
I
costume
know.
thing.
If somebody would stop me, like, oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
like,
because it really does look like something out of medieval shit. It's
It
not
does.
like this.
it's not. It looks
Yeah,
like a
it's-
medieval sword,
right,
Like
and- yeah.
I could fight somebody. Like
Right.
I'd go in after orcs or something. I think the craziest thing I have in my house is actually a 7.5-foot wooden marlin that's hand carved that another customer gave me. So
That was hand carved.
it's hand carved. It's carved with a chainsaw and then hand smooth. It's crazy.
See, back in the day, anything you asking me what I would have, that would be back in the day, it would have been any sort of baseball card. Certainly, as an older teen, I can't think of anything that I collect. They'd be like, "Oh, this is a cool thing." So we're not alike in that way.
I mean, yeah. I just basically at this point now, I just collect shoes, and I have this giant marlin. I have one sword. And I have started a collection, but I don't know how far I'm going to get because they're kind of expensive. I bought a bronze frog from a guy called the Frogman who makes these little sculptured frogs that look real, and I bought it. And apparently it comes with a number and all this other stuff. I bought it a while ago, but I'm hoping that it values up. But he keeps making them. I don't know.
Nice.
Apparently nothing's worth anything until he dies. I don't hope he doesn't die because I want to keep buying some. But
Oh yeah,
we'll see what
exactly.
happens.
But it'll go up. And I recently just got some Pokemon cards that listen, if they sell for $40 and $60, you go like, but that doesn't mean anything unless people are buying them. But I like those kind of things. I still get excited about collecting. It's like gambling. It's like the thrill of the hunt. What are you going to get? Ooh, I got a good card. I got one that's, worth something.
Well, the reason I said talking about downtown is because you go downtown and there's so many little trinkets that people like. You would think they would have to collect them because there's like little pewter things and little crystal knickknacks and things that you put out. And people, older people collect like little teacups and spoons and stuff. And I was just saying like I've never collected any of that stuff. But then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I guess I collect shoes that I put on display.
Yeah,
and I collect a couple of things.
And you like to get things from places. Like I will go to a place and never think to get, I want to get something from this little vacation that I think is cool to remind me.
Right.
Where you do.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, different strokes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but yeah, it's not my bag.
Well,
I'm also cheap.
well, that's the thing. I know I want to
It's okay.
remember it, and I don't. I take a bunch of pictures, but I don't really do much anything with the pictures. So it just
Yeah.
reminds me. I mean, it just reminds me the fact that I went there. Yeah, look, these are the places I've been. I collected a couple things. It's all my crap anyway, but it's
Right.
on a shelf, and it kind of try and display it decently. And
You always keep it.
okay.
You never get rid of shit. Like 10 years down the road.
No, I'll get rid of some stuff, but like not that stuff. Like there's certain things that I buy and I'm like, okay. I mean, I bought a mug from the guy at the bar at Wrexham when I went to Wrexham. I bought it from the bar, not a actual commercially sold one that they sell to. I
from
said
the bar.
I want the actual mug that I'm drinking from right now. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
and something like that. So like,
You
I'll
keep
go
that
to different
forever.
places and I'll keep that, but I don't use it in the kitchen so that it gets broken. I just have it on a shelf. So
Right.
that's a little different. Well, leave me a comment if you want. Tell me what kind of collections you guys have, or even the strangest thing that you've picked up in your travels or whatever.
I literally have trash that I showed the guys that we did like a show and tell thing. I have trash that I got from around the block where we grew up from a woman who was throwing it away, and it was from her son that got it back from Vietnam. And it was this glass painted dragon art. It was really interesting in this like frame with like velvet around it.
Mhm.
Like a velour, and it's sitting right next to my dresser right now. I still have it, and I've had it for like 35 years. It's
Is
like,
it framed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's
You,
like
you don't hang it up. You don't.
No, it's not my thing.
in
But
your
I
office,
but
or-
I always thought it. I always thought it was nice stuff. I said, you can't throw this away. It's nice. And I search it like now. I can use like Google Lens, I guess.
Yeah,
You can like see whatever.
Yeah.
And there's just similar things because I still don't know what it is that sell for like $200, $150. You're like, but I can't get rid of it because it's.
I come across all sorts of shit at work that people just try and give me as just gifts or tips or gratuities or
I don't
whatever,
want
and I'm
your
like,
shit.
oh, thank you very much. And then I find out like they value it, and then I look it up, and I'm like, oh crap, this thing's worth like $150. What do I do with this thing? And I don't know what to do with it. Do I sell it? Do I hold on to it? It's not my style. It's not my
sell
cup of tea. Yeah, unfortunately, I sell a lot of it.
As you should.
Well, we're going to get into last week's NFL now.
All right.
Week 10 results. Last Thursday night. Fantastic game. Bengals 34, Ravens 35.
I went for the Ravens.
You went for the Ravens?
Shit.
I went for the Ravens with a tease. I covered the tease. I didn't need to. They covered anyway. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They didn't cover anyway. You went for the Ravens. I only covered with the tease. They won by 1 point. That was an insane game back and forth. It was a great game. That division is insane. Cincinnati is hot on offense, but they can't stop anybody. Baltimore has trouble on defense. It's going to be an interesting end run now because all those teams, to me, except for the Browns, are evenly matched, which means the Steelers and the Ravens and even Cincinnati, if they get hot, can come up and can take somebody's spot. Next game, the Giants in London, 17, the Panthers 20. The Giants, I can't believe that they were even, and the Panthers, I can't believe that Giants were even in this game, but the Panthers can run. That's about it. I didn't think the Panthers were going to do anything. I picked the Giants in this game. I did not cover. I didn't expect the Panthers to win. We both had the Giants. We both lost.
Damn it. So far, I'm doing bad.
It's okay.
How did I do overall? You're going to give me my overall?
We're going to get to
after,
it.
Okay,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fine.
The Falcons, -3.5 at the Saints. The Falcons 17, the Saints 20. Falcons did not cover.
No.
The field goal kicker missed a couple of kicks. That was a crazy game. The Falcons blew it. They had that game and they blew it.
I saw some highlights that did not look good.
They missed a couple of field goals that they should have had. There was a couple of plays in there that it just didn't happen for them. I told you division games are always within 7. I wanted to tease this game, and I didn't know which way to tease it, but I said it's always going to be under 7 points. I had the Falcons. I lost the game. Actually, we both had the Falcons. We both lost those games.
Shit. Yeah.
Vikings, 12. The Jaguars, 7. This was a dog of a game. How do you not score a touchdown, 4 field goals on the road, turnovers, everything else, and still win the game? I don't know. Ask the Vikings against the Jaguars, which I said were shit, and they're still shit.
And who'd you pick?
We both had the Vikings. We both just covered by a half a point.
Okay, there you go.
Shocker of the week, Broncos 14, Chiefs 16. The Broncos blew that game.
God.
They had the game.
Oh.
The Chiefs were given another one.
So painful.
They were given another one.
Yes, they were. And right there, I mean, you'd think with 4 seconds left, they're kicking, what was that, like less than a 30-yard field goal, right?
It was such an easy field goal for them. I don't know how. They blocked it. Give them credit for blocking it, but it's a fluke. The Chiefs should have lost that game. Denver has a decent defense to hold the Chiefs that way. I lost the game because I pushed the tease down, so I missed it by a half a point. You teased it the other way with the Broncos, so that was your first tease win.
Yeah. So, out of what, 6 teases I had last week?
You had 6. I had 6. I didn't even. We were picking them so fast. We picked 6. We probably could have done better if we picked 4. Anyway, Steelers 28.
So dangerous.
Commanders 27.
I was surprised to see this, even though I think I picked Pittsburgh, didn't I?
No.
Oh, I thought I did.
You
because I
picked the
love
Commanders
Tomlin so much.
I know, but you picked last second. You switched it. You picked the Commanders -2.5. I picked the Steelers getting points, getting 2.5. So I covered.
Yeah, damn it.
That was a really good game. I give credit to that rookie. That was a tough situation. That was probably his biggest test in
Which
a while.
rookie?
The Commanders rookie, Jay Daniels,
yeah.
the quarterback. He played well considering that the Steelers were on him. I think that this is going to serve him well, even though he lost.
And the Steelers are just impressing me more and more each week.
It's scary that the Steelers might be the number 2 or number 3 in the AFC when it goes into the playoffs.
That quarterback, whoever he is, because I don't remember names.
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is now the quarterback of the Steelers for the last 3 games, and they've won all 3.
God, he's nailing it. I was seeing the highlights today.
He throws this ball. The receivers love him because he doesn't throw a laser. He throws what's called a moon ball. He throws it up in the air with this big arc so high, and it lands, and they always have a chance to catch it. Now, defenders do too, but at least if you have an aggressive receiver who he throws to all the time, and the Steelers receivers,
right,
they can go up there and they can grab it from the defender, and they call it a 50-50 ball. And he plays that, and the receivers love him, and that's why they switched. Next game, the 49ers, 23. the Buccaneers 20. We both teased this game, and we gave the Bucs plus 12.
Right.
So we covered. Okay.
Right.
Niners, McCaffrey came back. He didn't look fantastic, but Purdy did okay.
Purdy did okay.
I will say this.
Did he have 5 interceptions?
No. I saw a play that I've never seen before from a guy who's a stud. 49ers linebacker comes in and is holding Baker Mayfield's arm as he's running to the sideline. Is holding his arm as Baker Mayfield's throwing. And he's holding, it's a stiff arm, but the guy has both arms on Baker Mayfield's left arm. And he's running to the sideline and he throws a completion. And that was a 5-yard gain or whatever. I can't believe he got the ball off. He's holding this monster, this grizzly bear off. And Tom Brady, who was announcing the game, said that was the most amazing throw from any quarterback I've ever seen. With a guy draped on you. Now, when I mean a guy draped on you, he ran from the pocket to the sideline with the guy attached to his arm and didn't get tackled and still somehow got rid of the ball. But they lost. I'm glad the Bucs lost because they needed to lose because Atlanta lost as well. Next game, Buffalo 30, Colts 20. This game wasn't even that close. Buffalo took care of the Colts, no problem. They scored a touchdown later in the game. Wasn't much. We both had the Bills -5. Next game, this is where we lost our tease. Both of us. And I will say this, at the last second, you were hedging on that tease.
Oh, so I almost got a 6-game tease.
Patriots 19. The Patriots. The Bears 3. The Bears were favored by 6.5. The Bears have been in a slump ever since that Hail Mary. They have not won a game. Ever since they lost that game to a Hail Mary.
So they're 4-4 now.
No.
No, not 4. No, sorry.
But they have dropped in the division, and now they're in 4th place in the division. They were in 2nd, and now they're in 4th. They have not won a game in 3 games. They need to come back from this. We'll see what happens this week. The Patriots, by the way, I don't know how they did that game. They scored 19 points. There was a lot of giveaways in that game, a lot of sacks. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, the Patriots, I think I'm going to pick them this week because of what they look like. We'll see.
Okay. The Titans, 17. The Chargers, 27. The Chargers are coming on. I like the fact that the Chargers are coming on because they're the only people in that division that I think have a chance against the Chiefs.
Really?
Yeah.
They're the only ones.
Well,
no shit.
I don't think Denver, even though Denver had the game, I don't think Denver can
did.
compete with them.
Okay. Well.
Consistently with the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Next game, your Jets.
Oh, boy.
Against the Cardinals. Jets 6, Cardinals 31.
I was so happy to go against my Jets this week.
Well, you covered, you won, you teased it. You gave the Cardinals getting points. So that was one of your other teases.
Yeah.
So we both teased the Chargers. We both teased the Cardinals. The one that killed us was the Bears.
Yeah, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers is, you think he's just going to end on a horrible note in his career because this is it for him.
I really don't see how he can get out of the hole he dug for himself by picking everything that's going on right now between the head coach, the offensive coordinator, getting his buddy and his receiver, telling everybody this is what's going on, basically being the offensive coordinator himself and taking over the team and being the head coach, kind of the proxy head coach. Because if you don't do what he says, the head coach is shaking his boots like you're going to get rid of me anyway. I'm just an interim coach for now anyway.
Right.
So I don't see how he can get away with the fact that this is going to lay right on his lap.
I mean, I think that if the old head coach would have stayed in there, they could have, if they could have somehow worked out whatever differences they had with one another.
They needed somebody to be accountable for the rest of the team and to hold the continuity together with all of it. Now everybody's just looking at, well, we need stats to go on for next year to see if we're going to get traded or
And it's
anything.
going to be nobody's fault that is trying to do their job because they were just thrown into this position anyway. So really nobody's really scared for their job.
No, but it's not looking good for them to get another job next year. Oh, you were part of that debacle. That's the issue.
No,
you got
that's done.
As
that's
a coach,
already done.
As a coach, you cannot let any player. I will say this: Bill Belichick ran Tom Brady. He ran him. He was in charge of the rest of the team and said, "Tom, you do this," and that was a difference. A lot of strong coaches, they could have really strong, powerful personalities and players at a position, especially the quarterback, but they can't run everything else. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles 34, Cowboys 6. Cowboys are a sham. They're in shambles. There's nothing left of them. They're a skeleton of what you thought they were going to be. Last year, they had one of the best records in the NFL, and this year they can't do 6 points at home against a division rival? Now, I get it. Dak Prescott is probably, I think this week he's going under season-ending surgery this week.
Really?
Yes, but still, you have no semblance of order on any parts of that game. You scored 6 points against a division rival. The Eagles ran right over them.
So what's going to happen now for the rest of the season? I mean, who's coming in for him, and it doesn't even matter.
Right now, it's Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, the guy who was the first-round pick of the Niners a couple of years ago, and they got rid of him right away. I would play Lance. Rush isn't going anywhere for you because Rush has been there before. He's a career backup. He's not going to be the starter for you coming into the future. He's not going to be a franchise quarterback.
Right.
See if you get anything out of this kid, Lance, for the rest of the season. Play him and just see if he's got any sparks of anything, and maybe you could build around him. But the truth of the matter is, they paid all the money to Dak Prescott. So no matter who plays the end of the year, the only thing you do with Trey Lance is build him up and trade him for another piece. Maybe a defender, maybe a safety, maybe anything.
I mean, people have paid a lot of money for a quarterback, and then they get injured. They're out for the rest of the season. Somebody else comes in, and then that big money guy sits.
Right. Like
that has happened.
Yeah, Kurt Warner.
Right.
Tom Brady came in for Drew Bledsoe. Kurt Warner came in for the guy they picked up from the Redskins.
So it happens.
I didn't say that word again. For the Commanders years ago. The Lions 26. This is the next game. The Lions 26. The Texans 23. That game, I literally turned it off. In the third quarter, I said, they're not coming back in this game.
And that was because this was the 5 interceptions I was remembering.
This was the one.
Goff
had 5 interceptions.
Yes, and he had his 5th one like in the third where you're going like, again?
When he was throwing the ball, it looked like the guys didn't know the routes that they were supposed to do. The ball was in different positions most of the time for the interceptions that he threw. They were deep balls, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it just didn't look right. And I was like, something's off today. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was an insane process of saying, this guy's 5 interceptions. And somehow that coach is like, we'll get it back. And even in the halftime when he came out, he's like, we're only a couple plays away. And I'm like, you're fooling yourself. Like, what, are you kidding me?
Well,
you're down
point,
16 points.
So that's a couple of plays away.
I know, but you're only a couple plays away, and we're right back in this thing. And I went, okay. And then all of a sudden, a field goal, okay. And then I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. I could not believe what was going on. It was pretty incredible. And the best part about it was the field goal kicker for the Lions, apparently, 2 weeks before, or 2 weeks before he was picked up by the Lions, he was a brick salesman in Houston, selling bricks. He made a name for himself in the U.S. Football League this summer, whatever it was.
Are you serious?
And he didn't know he was going to be a kicker in the future anymore. He was hoping and praying. After the game, he hit 2 50-yard field goals, 50-plus yard field goals at the end. And after the game, he's like, I didn't expect anything, and I just want to give all praise to Jesus, because he's literally living on a prayer that he is there. Literally. Yeah. And now he's their kicker.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he's a kicker for the number 1 team in the NFC, which is the best record in the NFC.
Okay, so he was working as a brick salesman.
He was
not even a layer.
A brick salesman.
He was a brick salesman
in Houston, where he won the game.
You said just weeks ago.
Just this season,
yeah,
after the summertime, after the USFL,
right.
So he got picked
2
up
2 months ago.
He came in because I guess there was an injury, whatever. I got to do a little bit more background on this, but you had to hear the story last night on
wonderful.
the TV. It was
want
amazing.
to talk to this person. That's great.
Let's get him on the phone.
Yeah, right. It'll be easy. No, that's awesome.
And the last game of the week is going on right now.
Yep.
It's the Dolphins at the Rams.
Now.
And the Dolphins are ahead a little bit.
Yes, they are. Tua was 4 for 4, and it was 7-0. And I was like, oh, look at that. And then he went 3-0 the next round. But they're doing okay. What do you think's going to happen here? I think I went Miami.
We both went the Rams.
Did
we both went the Rams.
So
no
tease.
tease. No. You teased last night's game.
Why the fuck did I go Rams? Because of what's his name? What's the spread?
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, because of Stafford.
The Rams are -2 in L.A.
I don't know why the hell I did this. I swear. In my head, I'm like, oh, yeah, Miami, right? Shh.
I know. Miami should be a better team. But right now they're playing okay. Their offense has been doing a little bit better, but the defense hasn't really done much. And with the full complement of the Rams receivers back and their offense going, I figure that they may just be able to pull this out if they can get it going. We'll see.
All right. So this is the week now, this week.
So we're into this week now. Thursday night game. Thursday night games this year have been really, really good compared to the last year because these games are actually better matchups. Last year, they were all dogs. I don't know if Prime did something. They complained, whatever they did. But it's the Commanders at the Eagles,
All right.
especially the way it is right now. These two teams are playing very well. Even though the Commanders lost, they didn't lose by much to the Steelers.
No, I'm going with the Eagles.
Well, the Eagles are -3.
I know. I'm just saying, if you want me to pick first,
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm going with the Eagles, even though, honestly, this could go, obviously, either way.
I think this game is literally a coin flip. I think the Commanders, it's not that far, so it's not like an away game. I think there's going to be a lot of Commanders fans in Philly. I think the Eagles are going to take it. So we'll see what happens. Next game, Raiders at the Dolphins, who are playing right now. The Dolphins are favored by 7 in Miami against the hapless Raiders, who really are falling apart.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going with the Raiders myself.
No. This is my first tease. I'm going with the Dolphins. I'm teasing it down to 1. If the Dolphins cover, I don't know if the Dolphins are going to win today. They're all the way. It's a Monday night. It's a short week next week. But I still have the Dolphins at home against the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders can do much. And I think the Dolphins' running game is going to overpower the Raiders because right now the Dolphins are up by 7.
All right. I think that's a tease I would not take.
Next game, Browns at the Saints. The Saints are favored by 3 against the Browns.
I'll tease this baby, and I'm gonna go with the Saints. So you're saying it's what's the spread?
So you're gonna -3.
Perfect. All right. So
you're gonna get 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm taking the Saints just the way it is. Next game is your game of the week. The Colts at your hapless Jets.
Man,
Jets are favored.
I don't know why.
-3.
I don't understand that at all.
Colts got beat up by Buffalo this week. What
Colts
did that tell you?
Tells you that they're playing a good team.
Yeah.
It was 20-30, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's tough. The Jets would be able to score that. Man, let's go against the Jets again, and I'll tease it. So you're saying the Colts are getting 3?
Mm-hmm.
So, they're getting 9 now.
So they're getting 9.
Yeah.
I got the Jets covering this game just because this is ultra disaster. It's at home. I'm not teasing anything with the Jets.
Okay.
This is at home.
Uh-huh.
I think that there is so much bad press on the Jets right now. They have to do something at home. They have to do something at home.
Or it gets even worse.
I don't even know how it could get worse. I don't know how.
I mean, I was seeing so many plays from, the best defensive
They're
plays.
playing against Flacco.
Oh, my God.
Like Aaron Rodgers is playing against Flacco. This is the senior game. Like I don't know, but this is what's going on. I'm going with the Jets. I don't have confidence in this pick at all. I don't want it anywhere near my tees, so we'll see.
All right.
Minnesota Vikings on the road, -6.5 against the Tennessee Titans.
It's been a minute since the Vikings have scored a lot in a game, right? Or is it just last week? Because I want to say that I haven't been seeing much from them.
They've been slipping. They've had trouble. Last week they were on the road in Jacksonville and didn't do much, but it was on the road. This is another road game, 2 in a row. They did pull out a win last week.
I'm going to go Vikings. I definitely need to go Vikings.
The Titans were on the road last week as well. The Titans put 17 up. I didn't even think it was that really close of a game against the Chargers. I don't expect much of a fight out of the Vikings. I'm teasing this game. I'm teasing this game to a 0.5 point just so that the Vikings win. If the Vikings beat the Titans, and that's against my team, but if the Vikings beat the Titans, then I cover that tease. Next game, division game against two teams that are really going in the opposite direction. Packers -6 against the Bears, who haven't won since they gave up that Hail Mary pass to Washington.
So, knowing nothing about the Packers except for that they're doing well,
They're in a tough division, and they've played a lot of division games recently.
I mean, I'm not going to go for Chicago now, but they are on a losing streak. They're due. They are definitely due, and they're getting 6.
Yes.
You know what? I'll tease it. They're getting 12 now.
They're getting 12
Yeah.
against the Packers.
Yeah.
In Chicago.
I don't Yeah, because I don't think that they're gonna win, but you never know. It could be crazy, and they might win outright.
I don't know what's going on with the Bears. I have a little bit more faith in the Packers. A little bit more faith in the Packers.
Really? I mean, aren't the Packers? They still have a losing record too, don't they?
No, they're in that division, but they're just a little bit above 500.
Oh no, the Packers are 6-3.
6-3. They head off.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. So yeah, no, they are good. I have a lot more faith in them. That's why I'm giving the Bears 12. But
I'm taking the Packers over the Bears. I'm teasing this game to 0. I hope the Packers win the game. Next game. I think that's 3 teases already, and we're only halfway through.
Right.
I gotta slow down. Jaguars are at the Lions.
Right.
Who just barely pulled off a victory, and the Lions are giving 13.
Yes.
That's a giant spread.
It is.
The Lions can kill you by 30 like they did to the Cowboys, but do I expect it? You just barely won a game. I think I'm just going to stick with the fact that the Lions are going to win this game. I hope they cover the 13. I don't feel comfortable in teasing it up or down. I went ahead of you this game, but I'm just picking my Lions.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to tease it, even though part of me wants to make it a 20-point spread. No, 19 it would be. I'm going to go with... Do you know how many wins? Like, I feel like we should be betting each other and like how many like gets so that we know every week. Because I want to know you're beating me type of thing. Because I would be going against you on shit.
Yes.
Just to go against you.
But the only thing, see, we're picking every game here.
I know.
And the only thing that really matters for me is the teases. Like, I'm picking every game because there's games I wouldn't even touch unless I'm in a pool like we used to do.
Yeah, well,
where we pick every game of the season.
Yeah.
But yes, so I will update you next week on this whole season because I still haven't written down.
What we've done, yes, at least what we picked.
So we have a record.
But the thing is, no, you picked 2 weeks that I didn't even pick. I'm going to go with the Lions as well.
Next game, the Rams. Now, those are the L.A. Rams with Stafford, who's playing right now. -5.5 at
the Patriots.
The New England Patriots.
So I'd be going with the Rams. Stafford. They are giving 5.5. I'm going to stick with that, and I'm not going to tease it. I'm just going to stick with that.
This is going to be my last tease.
Are you giving it to the Patriots?
Patriots.
Yeah, they looked good.
I'm just going to say the Patriots, it's 11.5-point spread. I think they'll play them tough. I think it's a Monday night, going across the country, going to New England, early game. We'll see what happens. I think the Rams are a better team. I'm just hoping that the Patriots cover here. That's how I'm doing. I think that's my last tease of the week. I'm not going with the 27-game tease this week. Right. I'm just going with
I should have teased that one the other way.
Next game, one of the 5-star games of the week. The Ravens on the road at the Steelers. This is a division game. Yep. This could be for the top of the division when all is said and done at the end of the year. Ravens -3 at the Steelers.
I don't understand that. That's why the Steelers are now getting 9, and that is another tease.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go for the Steelers if they were giving 3.
I'm taking the Ravens in this game, just the way it is. Not teasing anything.
That's fine.
I'm leaving it alone. By the way, this past week on one of the NFL countdown shows, they said the word Tomlinisms. And they started talking about Mike Tomlin. They had a little thing about his players quoting different things that he said. That's how legendary this guy's getting with all his little sayings and all those things.
Haven't other people been saying that for a while?
Yes, but this is now on national. I heard it on a podcast, but now it's on national television where they're doing little skits about him.
Oh, nice.
Next game, another division game, which is kind of important for what's going on for the end of this year for the division. The Seahawks are at the Niners. The Niners are favored by 7. Seattle's coming off a bye. They had off last week, 2 weeks to prepare, but they're on the road at the Niners, and it is a division game.
Close, not much to travel. What's Seattle's record? Oh, Seattle's 4-5. Are they? So they're in the hunt still for like wild card, or is
they're in the hunt for that division?
Okay.
This is a crazy division. Arizona is now, I think, in first place in that division. San Francisco is coming up from some losses. Seattle was hot. They got cold. Are they going to bounce back?
I don't know, but I'm gonna tease it.
This might be your 5th or 6th already.
Listen, man, I did 6 last week. Yes. I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
All right. So teasing this, and I'm giving it to Seattle.
Okay. So you're giving Seattle 13 points.
Yeah.
I'm just sticking with the Niners by 7. I think they're slowly rounding the corner. We'll see what happens. They were on the road. They won against Tampa. Do I think Tampa's a little bit better team? I think Tampa's almost the same as Seattle, but they are at home. I'm giving a little bit of a boost for that. Next game I am afraid of. I need this to go well because the Falcons lost last week.
Oh, they did. Tease it.
Falcons, no teases. Falcons are on the road against Tommy's Broncos. Tommy's Broncos are favored by 1.5, which is basically almost a pick'em game. But it is in Denver. It is cooler. It's not a dome. The Falcons are built for speed. I don't know.
I mean, the Falcons look good.
They do, but they had a bad week last week in New Orleans, and this is the second game in a row on the road.
I don't know who to pick here. I'm going to go... You said the Falcons get 1.5?
Falcons get 1.5.
Shit. I'm going to go for the Falcons, and I don't know why.
I think the Falcons are a much better team. I really do. I think the Broncos, are they going to be able to handle the fact that they got a blocked field goal when they could have beat the Super Bowl champs? I'm worried about, is there a hangover, and is it going to be a positive hangover, which means they're pissed about the hangover,
Right.
or are they going to come out fighting, or are they just going to lay down? I got to go with the Falcons because they're my team, but this is a sketchy one. I'm really close to leaning to the Broncos, but I'm going with the Falcons. Game of the week. This is it.
Oh.
This is for everything. This is a matchup that happens all the time during the regular season, and during the regular season, it's a pretty close matchup for who wins. Chiefs are on the road at the Bills.
Man.
And the Bills are favored by 1 point.
I mean, I have to pick the Bills. They are more than capable of taking care of the job. I want them to take care of the job. I like the Bills. So, and again, this could be one of those fucking games where, the Bills are also really good at like kicking the shit out of a team for like 3 quarters and then playing a completely different ball game and having somebody come back and beat them. Has their defense, I mean, they've only lost 2 games. So has it been those 2 games where they choked? Because last year there were several. And they had a good record last year, didn't they? And I think they had several games where it was like, how the hell did they lose that? Or maybe I'm remembering a year before.
No. You're remembering last year. They lost the first game of the season to the Jets last year without Aaron Rodgers. That was last year.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with the Bills. They're missing, I believe, 2 of their wide receivers right now who would make a big impact. And I think one of their tight ends is injured. But it's in Buffalo. Those fans are rabid. I just don't see anything phasing this stupid Chiefs team. This Chiefs team, they can lose the whole game until the fourth quarter. And the differential in the fourth quarter is unbelievable. Is it them, or is it every team gets scared, or every team just gets nervous? We're going to beat them, and then they just drop the ball every time.
Yeah, because they could score 28 in a quarter.
I don't see it this game, though. I don't see how the Chiefs that we've been watching all year can beat a Buffalo team on a good day. They don't have to be great. I don't think Buffalo has to be great to beat the Chiefs. I just think they have to be good that day.
And that's the thing.
Not really like making a lot of mistakes. If they just go about their business, Buffalo should win the game. I'm picking the Bills. I'm hoping for the Bills. I'm hoping the Chiefs don't have an undefeated season. And I'm hoping that this is not they beat them during the regular season and then they lose in the playoffs to them, which the Bills actually do quite a bit. They beat them during the regular season,
yeah,
and then they lose to them in the playoffs. I want this to happen this year.
I'll be happy if they just don't have a perfect season. The more I say it, the more I think it's going to happen. Go Bills.
Okay, we're both in agreement, Bills. Fine. Next game, Bengals.
Yep.
On the road at the L.A. Chargers. Now, this isn't the Rams.
I know.
This is the Chargers.
Who are doing good.
They're doing pretty good. They got a pretty well-rounded. Yeah, they got a pretty well-rounded team. The Bengals, they had a wide receiver last week, Jamar Chase, last week, what he did to those Ravens, and almost won the game. If it wasn't for Lamar Jackson being unfreaking believable, then Cincinnati would have won that game easily. But I don't think that the Chargers have the weapons to hold up with Cincinnati in a shootout. I do think maybe the Chargers can hold them down because they're not familiar with them as they are in the division with the Ravens. So I don't know. This is a toss-up game.
The
Chargers
Bengals
favored by 2.5.
at the end of I think I might. This is like the second to last game, right?
Yes.
So I'll tease it. And the Bengals are looking good.
They got a shit record, but they
have a
play
shit record.
Offensively, they play good.
They do. The last game, wasn't there a thing where he ended up meaning the quarterback, got a face mask?
It wasn't called.
And it wasn't called. It should
Twice
have been 15 yards.
Twice.
But one of them was like right at the very end, like
at the very end of the
bring
game.
it in, like that. It would change the game. It was a 4th down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was complete. Like they had that game won.
It was a 2-point conversion. They went for the 2-point conversion and didn't get it because of that. They could have had the game.
Right.
They could have went to overtime. Like I said, in that division, you want to beat them. You don't want to go into overtime. That was it.
Right. So I'll take the Bengals. They'll be getting 8.5. It's my last tease.
I'm taking the Chargers. I'm just going to take them because they're home, and they're a solid team all the way around. So we'll see what happens. Last game, the Texans, -7 at the Cowboys. This is an in-state game. This is a game that's kind of like big brother, little brother. I hate to say it. The Cowboys have always been in that state, the big deal, the superior team, the number one franchise in the state, okay? And right now, they are in total disarray. They can't get anything right. Now, the Texans are on a losing streak, but I just think that the Texans are a superior team, even though they don't have their complement of wide receivers. They lost Diggs. They still don't have their second-year wide receiver stud, Nico Collins, who before he was hurt was leading the league in almost all statistical categories. And he's been out for weeks now. And that's the difference to me in the Texans' offense, because he was their total threat. They were worried about him no matter where he was on the field, and he's only a second-year wide receiver. And they lost Diggs, who was their deep threat.
Oh, Diggs.
So, I don't know. This game, to me, even with that, Houston should take care of business. I'm just taking the Texans. I can't stand Dallas. This could be a bounce-back game for them on Monday night. I don't know, because Texans just played Sunday night, but it's in Texas. You don't have to go that far on the road. Big brother, little brother. I think the Texans are going to go out with something to prove. Dallas, I don't know what else is there left to prove. I don't think they can come back in that division at all.
What about Dak Prescott? You said he was going to have a surgery.
Oh, he's out.
So
he's out.
That's another reason.
Yeah.
I mean, so we don't know how.
That's why the spread is 7 right now.
Right. And this other guy, actually, you know what? I kind of want to go with the Cowboys because it all depends. Are they going with the career backup or are they going with the rookie?
Well, the career backup, was it last year or the year before when he came in? He was 4-1. So he did well with them. The problem is they don't have any running backs right now. There's nobody running the ball in Dallas right now. They really don't have a full complement of people playing offense.
It's a lot of other people.
It's a lot of other missing pieces.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, I should go for the Cowboys anyway, just because I was gonna, and I don't want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I mean, why not?
Okay.
I'll give it a whirl.
I'm taking the Texans. He's taking the Cowboys. That's it for this week.
See ya.